Hey everybody, how's it going? Daryl here, welcome to the channel. As a mobile DJ, I try to find things that improve the efficiency of my setup, and battery-powered lighting fixtures has been one of the game-changing elements. And battery-powered uplights have been very popular for a while. These battery-powered tubes are also becoming popular, kind of like a battery-powered wash, eye candy effect, and battery-powered movers are nothing new. They've been around for mobile DJs for about 5 years with the JMAZ Aero series, and Chauvet followed with their Freedom Spot. And while I've been very excited, the DJ community at large really hasn't shared my enthusiasm. And the feedback I've gotten from my videos is that they're too expensive. They're about $1,200 per moving head. They're not bright enough, being about 60, 75 watts. And they're not white enough. And for me, being white or black is not a deal breaker, but if I have the choice, I would prefer white if I have an all white setup. And so Both Lighting has put out this guy, a 100-watt beam. It is completely wireless with built-in wireless DMX, and it has a built-in battery. And as you can see, it comes in white, which I'm super excited about. Yeah, earlier this year, I bought the JMAZ Aero Spot 60 series, and I was determined to have an all-white setup, and I was gonna paint this thing white. In fact, I have all of the materials I need. I have the various grades of sandpaper, the spray paint, and I was gonna take this thing apart and spray paint it. My attempt to make a vinyl wrap for this thing was ultimately a failure. But then when I heard about this being white, I figured I would try this out, see if I like it before I paint these white, because when you dismantle your fixture and paint it white, that makes its value go all the way down, because it is hard to do a good job without the paint chipping. But yeah, more importantly than the color, I just want to see if this thing is of the same caliber of quality. So that's some of the things we're going to look at in this mover today. We're going to look at the battery life, we're going to look at the functionality, and I like spots generally more than beams, so we're going to take a look at that as well. I'll have a link in the description below, so another coupon code where you can save a little bit. For two of these with a case, it's a little over $1,000, which is crazy because the Chauvet and the JMAZ are about $1,200 per moving head, and they don't make a carrying case for them. They kind of leave you on your own to find your own case. So you can get a full set of two of these with a case for cheaper than one of those. So I think that is going to be a game changer for mobile DJs that are wanting to get into the battery powered moving head space. And if you want two of these and you don't plan on using the flight case, you can get them for about $834 for a set of two. That's about the same price as two of the MH150s, which we've reviewed in another video. Check that out if you're interested. And those were spots and they're brighter, and I really do like that mover too. And they also come in white. So without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox this thing. All right, so I placed my order from China. It arrived in this box like this. It's pretty heavy. Let's go ahead and take this plastic wrap off. Just peeling some of these stickers off. On the side right here, you can see this is a spot to plug in your charging cable, but it does have the sticker saying, when charging your lights, keep the cover open. It has one handle on each side, and it has 4 wheels, and 2 of them are locking. So on the top, it has these like little slots so that you could potentially stack this on top of each other. This thing is pretty big, but skinny. So these butterfly latches, like we're used to on flight cases. And here's our movers. We have our manual. We have a couple of fat charging bricks, an IAC cord to plug into our charging case, and we have our moving head. We also have a couple of DMX cords and a couple of mounting brackets for each of our movers. You know what? I'm only counting 2 screws. Yeah, they only sent me 2 screws. I plan on using this like in totem mode anyways, on top of a totem. And usually if you message them, they're pretty good at sending like additional hardware, but yeah. Yeah, I've reviewed several moving heads for Both Lighting and a couple of their flight cases. As you see in the middle, that's the charging module. So that is what you plug into your lights. And the storage compartment that we're used to is no longer there. This is the charging port right here. You take this thing, this is the color of my shirt, and then you plug it in. It locks like that. It sits the other way. Then you take this end and you plug it in. So you can get that. Plug this in. This thing lights up and I turn it on. This is flashing green, meaning it's charging. That fits in there pretty nice. This case is probably too big for my use case, but I'll probably just keep this at home as like a charging port. Then transport this in my Rockville gig bag. Okay, it fits, but it's a tight fit, it like barely fits. According to the spec sheet, it's just under 25 pounds, which seems to be accurate. So the head down, it's about 14 inches tall. With the head up, it's 17 inches tall. It's about 12 inches from handle to handle and 8 inches deep. So this is the appearance of it. You have this beam logo on the top, and on the back you have lots of ventilation and fans. You have this LED sign on the sides. It has a couple of handles, which is very nice. On the back, it has a power con in, and it also has an on and off switch. Obviously, there's no power linking because these are battery powered, and you have DMX in and out. We have these big rubber feet, and we have our battery located right in here. And we have a couple of slots right here so we can attach the mounting hardware, which just screws on just like that real nicely. And then you would do the other side. You'd probably need a hex key to tighten that tight enough. And on the front, we have this 5-button LCD panel, as well as a DMX signal and error light. As I was mentioning earlier, people were wanting like a brighter mover. So this thing is outfitted with a 100-watt LED, which I think is really good. So we'll see how bright it is. This has built-in wireless DMX, so you can pair them in master slave wirelessly, or control this with your favorite DMX control solution, Wolf Mix, sound switch. Yes, I'll be adding this to my sound switch template, the sound switch shortcut. The spot angle is a 1.5 beam, so it is super tight, which will be great for those that like the mirrored balls. But it also does have a double prism. It has a 6+12, which I think is helpful for those of us that aren't using haze at events. Like I try to use haze sometimes, which is when a beam is most effective. But really that's why I like spots, is because I think they're pretty effective without haze. And if you're using a prism with your beams, I think that kind of emulates spot effects. I think you can get away with it. You know, beams are just not really known for having the best gobos, so I don't know. I think that the gobos are, obviously most effective when it's in a prism like that. And this colorful frost effect is kind of cool. And then it has a frost, which is just supposed to act like a wash, so that's kind of cool. The battery capacity is 1800 mAh, and they're saying that the battery longevity is 6.2 hours being self-propelled. I know a lot of people are very interested in that because a lot of times we are doing events that are like, 6 hours, but we're setting this up before the event. So we might want our movers to last like 10 hours. But just note that it's like moving around a lot during self-propulsion when it's like in auto mode. I have high hopes for this light as well. We're gonna test it. And it's made of temperature resistant plastic and metal. So we'll go over the menu really quick. So as you can see, it tells you the temperature. It's in DMX mode, and it shows you the DMX address, and it shows you like the battery life indicator. You can set the mode you want it in, so you can change the mode from DMX to sound active to auto mode. And there's several types of auto mode. We'll keep it on DMX for now. So this is for those that are wanting to control this with wireless DMX. So these are associated with different colors, so you just kind of have to know what they are. So it's like red, green, blue. So I'm gonna put mine on address 1 for red. You can invert the pan or the tilt. You can also set a manual mode. So if you want to use this thing without DMX, you can do so. So that's pretty cool. So you can like set the brightness and where you want to point it, the color. I almost forgot to mention, it has this LED ring around the edge. It has like this nice frosted filter. So this almost has like that tube effect. And some people may not find any use of this, but I think it's kind of cool. So you can like turn off your spot, but it's not completely black. You just have like these glow rings. I mean, some high-end fixtures include this, so I don't think this is a terrible effect. The great thing about it is that with the DMX control, you can have this turned off if you don't like it. Also, another thing I like is that it points way down. So I feel like that is a very nice angle that is needed when you're using a light on top of a totem. So something kind of cool is that I noticed when it's connected to DMX, it's not blinking green. So if I disconnect this, it just goes black. So yeah, pretty cool. This is so crazy. I look like that guy in that meme where I'm just shining the light manually. Listen up, kids. This is why you do DMX, so that you don't have to hire somebody to do this the whole night. This is wild. I can just pick this up, no cables. That's the frost filter. What do I think about this moving head light from both lighting? I think that it is extremely bright. I'm really impressed with its output. The battery life seems good so far. I'm gonna do a follow-up testing the battery at a gig. I have a gig next week. I'm gonna use 2 of these to complete my all-white setup, so I'm very excited about that. As far as like functionality, I'm pretty pleased with it. I was skeptical about the utility of a beam, but the beam seems to work really good. You can use the prism so it feels more like a spot, and the frosted filter gives it kind of a wide angle spot type shape. So I think that despite it being a beam, it's still really good. I like the colors. There was not a profile programmed in SoundSwitch, so I created one and it's on the public cloud, so you're welcome to use it. And I put split colors in there too, because I think I've just been missing split colors and I haven't taken the time to add them in any of my fixtures, so I'm doing that now. Yeah, quality is yet to be determined through gigs. I might just make this my main mover. And guys, I don't know how they're able to keep the price so low, because I contacted like various other Chinese companies and they said they wanted like $500 a unit with a minimum of 50 units. So getting 2 of these for $850 is insane. I don't know if that's an introductory rate or what, but being 25 pounds, this is pretty heavy. This is not like the most portable, but it also feels surprisingly lightweight and it feels like very manageable. Yeah, it has a fan. The fan is there, so I'm glad, but it's not too loud. It doesn't hurt if I put my hand in front of here. Some of those beams can like burn paper. I don't think you're gonna have that problem with this. If you've been interested in battery powered moving heads, I think that this is definitely a go. I think this is a small investment for a ton of convenience. This year I've been incorporating battery powered movers. Someone asked me, what's the point of a moving head light that is battery powered? Is it for off-grid weddings? And you know, that definitely does help. I was at a wedding where I had movers and the power grid kept tripping, so having battery powered movers probably would have helped in that scenario. But this honestly would help in every single wedding, because not having to run cables and wiring is just so nice, so convenient. And anything we can do to improve efficiency is just super useful, so we can get in and out of those venues quicker. Yeah, really good moving head. And of course I have those links down in the description below where you can save some money and pick these up. So what are your thoughts on this moving head? Is a battery powered moving head really cool functionality, or is it just a gimmick? Let me know what you think down below, and please smash like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.